Assalamualaikum, I'm Talat Suhail. I welcome you all to Virtual University's program on Personality Psychology. Dear students, today is our lecture number 26 and we will be beginning with a very interesting personality theory given to us by Gordon Allport. But before beginning with this new theory of personality, let us recap what we did in lecture number 25. In lecture number 25, we finished and completed Kelly's cognitive theory of personality, and for Kelly, he thinks that people use a set of personal constructs in predicting future events. So for Kelly, how you perceive events and people is through by using a set of constructs, by using a set of specialized constructs that every individual designs, formulates and uses. So dear students, let us go through and recap lecture number 25. For Kelly, an individual's behavior and thoughts are guided by a set of personal constructs that are used in predicting future events. A person's processes, behavior and thinking are channelized by ways that he anticipates reality. Examples of constructs include good versus bad, friendly versus hostile. These constructs are ones which many people use to construe events in their daily lives. Kelly's cognitive theory consisted of the psychology of personal construct. We went through biographical sketch. The cornerstones of cognitive theory included constructive alternativism, people as scientists, personal construct theory, where we talked about templates, properties of these constructs, types of constructs. We talked about the construct of personality for Kelly, the construct of motivation, a postulate and some 11 basic inferences, channelizing processes, individuality and organization. To construe or not to construe, that is the question. We went through CPC cycle. We went through social relationships and personal construct, role construct repertoire test, that is the RAP test. Application, we went through the emotional states, anxiety, guilt, hostility, psychological disorders, psychological health, and we discussed the fixed role therapy. And of course, we summarized and evaluated his theory for you. Dear students, that is as far as Kelly's cognitive theory is concerned, where we talked at length with you about the concept of Kelly, who was focusing on using a set of constructs that an individual devises and uses to anticipate reality or events that are happening. And we even discussed most of the constructs and concepts of Kelly's theory with examples. हमने आपसे ये कहा था कि for Kelly, personality consists of set of constructs and these constructs are used in anticipating reality. For example, there are two people living in the same room and these two people look out of the window of the same room and one person labels it what a beautiful day and the other person labels it as a dull, boring day. So the scenery is the same. The images that are being formed on the retina are identical, but the perception, how one is seeing it, how one is perceiving it is different. So for Kelly, each individual wears a different set of glasses, and that is why same thing appears differently to different individuals. Dear students, that is as far as our lecture number 25th was concerned. Let us begin with lecture number 26. जनाब, आज का जो लेक्चर है वो आप बहुत एंजॉय करेंगे. आपको उसमें बहुत सारी नई चीज़ें हैं जो मिलेंगी. Now this lecture concerns with Gordon Allport's trait theory of personality. सबसे पहली बात तो ये हम ये डिस्कस कर लें और देख लें ट्रेड क्या है. व्हाट डू वी मीन बाय ट्रेड. नंबर 2, व्हाट ट्रेड्स डू पीपल हैव, और ऑलपॉट का फोकस क्यों ट्रेड्स के ऊपर है. सो व्हेन आई यूज द टर्म ट्रेड, इट्स अ जनरलाइज्ड परवेसिव टेंडेंसी ऑफ योर पर्सनैलिटी. तो वो एक ऐसी टेंडेंसी या खुसूसियत जिसकी बेसिस पे हम आपको लेबल कर सकते हैं, आपको कोई नाम दे सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आप कहते हैं सच एंड सच इंडिविजुअल इज अ फ्रेंडली पर्सन. तो जब आप कह रहे हैं सच एंड सच इज अ फ्रेंडली पर्सन, तो आप जो ट्रेड यूज कर रहे होंगे उसको लेबल करने के लिए, दैट इज ऑफ अ फ्रेंडली पर्सन. आप कहते हैं सच एंड सच इज अ पर्सन हु इज वेरी सस्पिशियस, हु इज वेरी डाउटफुल ऑफ द अदर इंडिविजुअल और थिंग्स दैट आर हैपनिंग अराउंड हिम. सो उस इंडिविजुअल को लेबल करने के लिए आप जो ट्रेड या कैरेक्टरिस्टिक यूज कर रहे हैं, दैट इज ऑफ सस्पिशन और डाउट. सो डियर स्टूडेंट्स, different people have got different traits. We label people on the basis of traits, dominant trait that is there. जब हम गॉर्डन ऑलपॉट की थ्योरी की बात करते हैं तो he is focusing on cardinal traits, central traits, secondary traits. इसके अलावा भी वो कुछ traits की बात कर रहे हैं, common traits, individual traits. We'll be talking about them in detail. लेकिन जब हम ऑलपॉट की थ्योरी की बात करते हैं तो 3 चीजें जो आपके फौरन दिमाग में आती हैं. सबसे पहले ये कि he is labeling people according to a set of traits, cardinal trait, central trait और secondary trait, and that is according to the degree of pervasiveness in personality. We'll be talking about Allport along with some other researchers developed a test of study of values. So he tried to study individuals according to the value system they possess. And it was through this test that he focused on 6 personality values that are there. इस टेस्ट के बारे में आपसे डिटेल में बात रहेगी और हम ये भी आपको बताएंगे कि ये टेस्ट पाकिस्तान में अवेलेबल है. ये टेस्ट बड़ा एक्सटेंसिवली एकेडमिक सेटिंग्स में कॉलेज स्टूडेंट्स के साथ, कॉलेज पॉपुलेशन के साथ इस्तेमाल होते हैं और इसमें जो वैल्यूज निकल रही हैंगी ऑफ मेल एंड फीमेल कॉलेज स्टूडेंट्स वो भी मुख्तलिफ निकल रही हैं. आई शेयर दोज फाइंडिंग्स विद यू. आई थिंक यू लाइक देम वेरी मच. So dear students, we will be talking about a very interesting Gordon Allport's a trait theory of personality, and we'll go through the core concepts, we'll go through each and everything with detail. But before beginning with that, let us see what are we going to go through. जनाब हम सबसे पहले बात करेंगे आपसे बायोग्राफिकल स्केच की. गॉर्डन ऑलपॉट का बायोग्राफिकल स्केच देखेंगे, फिर ये देखेंगे what is personality for Gordon Allport. Then we are going to see the criteria for adequate personality theory given to us by Allport. Then Allport's concept of traits, इसके ऊपर बहस होगी आपसे. kinds of traits की बात होगी, cardinal traits, central traits, secondary traits, and a very interesting concept, the self concept. जब आप कहते हैं ना आई, मी, आई एम इम्पॉर्टेंट, मी इज इम्पॉर्टेंट, वेल दैट आई, मी कंस्ट्रक्ट एंड हाउ दिस सेल्फ डिवेलप्स थ्रू स्टेजेस फ्रॉम बर्थ टू अडल्टहुड, इसके लिए गॉर्डन ऑलपॉट बाकायदा एक डेवलपमेंटल सीरीज ऑफ स्टेजेस दे रहा है, जिसमें से ये जो कॉन्सेप्ट है आपका आई, मी और सेल्फ का और सेल्फहुड, दैट डेवलप्स. Dear students, we are talking to you about the core concepts. फिर हम functional autonomy की बात करेंगे और हम ये देखेंगे कि जो functional autonomy है, it focuses on 4 important things. Then we'll talk about the study of values. और study of values में we'll focus on theoretical, economic, aesthetic, social, political, religious values that this particular test explores. जनाब इस theory को आपके लिए summarize करेंगे, इसे evaluate करेंगे, इसका comparison करेंगे. So let us begin with Gordon Allport's trait theory of personality, and let us go through the concept of trait. A trait is what accounts for the more permanent, enduring features of our behavior, generalized action tendencies. Allport regarded trait as the most valid unit of analysis for understanding and studying personality. Traits are predispositions to respond in equivalent manner to various kinds of stimuli. Dear students, for Allport, trait is a predisposition or a way to respond to various kinds of stimuli. फिर हमने कहा it refers to generalized action tendencies. और फिर हमने कहा कि it is enduring and permanent and consistent features of our behavior. हम बहुत सारी बातें, हमने 3 अहम बातें एक वक्त में आपसे कर ली. सबसे पहले हमने कहा it is a predisposition or a way of responding to stimuli. Now, stimuli means any external force or agent that acts upon you. So, आप एक मखसूस तरीके से you respond to external stimuli or various kinds of stimuli. तो आप किस तरह relate करते हैं, respond करते हैं towards external stimuli is the trait that you possess. For example, if you are friendly, you are going to, let's say, approach every stimuli, every individual that you are going to come across in a friendly manner. Number 2, it refers to enduring and permanent features of your behavior. यानी आपकी पर्सनैलिटी का एक परमानेंट, एक इंड्योरिंग फीचर है, उसको हम ट्रेट कह रहे हैं. और नंबर 3, इट रिफर्स टू, जो कि विद इन्वर्टेड कॉमास, इट रिफर्स टू जनरलाइज्ड एक्शन टेंडेंसीज अकॉर्डिंग टू गॉर्डन ऑलपोर्ट. यानी आपका एक मखसूस रवैया जिसकी मदद से आप हर चीज को अप्रोच करेंगे, हर इवेंट को, हर इंडिविजुअल को, हर इन्वायरमेंट को. डियर स्टूडेंट्स, वी आर टॉकिंग टू यू about Gordon Allport's trait theory of personality and we are trying to conceptualize the concept of trait. और हमने ये कहा कि trait refers to generalized action tendencies, it refers to predisposition, it refers to ways of let's say facing stimuli or things that you come across. और हम ये we are trying to clarify that traits can be classified mainly under 3 headings: cardinal, central और secondary. Cardinal आपकी पर्सनैलिटी की सबसे pervasive trait, यानी वो एक trait जिसके ऊपर बाकी सारी traits उससे secondary हैं. Central are the main building blocks और secondary traits हैं जैसे what food do you prefer, what sort of clothes do you wear, what sort of perfume do you use. So cardinal and central are the main ones and secondary are your preferences for food, for clothes, for perfumes, for books, for things. Now these 3 traits that we are referring to, we are talking about them according to the degree of pervasiveness within a personality. Janab, when we are talking about Gordon Allport's trait theory of personality, we are trying to focus that there are people in this world and we just cannot say that 2 people are completely alike. Rather, we say people differ from one another. The way they face a stimulus, the way they face a situation. So dear students, for Gordon Allport, people are unique and different, and this uniqueness or difference comes through traits. यानी even identical twins or no two persons on this earth can resemble one another, or they can be completely alike, but they are different, they are unique as far as it concerns the set of traits they possess. No two people are completely alike, thus no two people react identically to the same psychological situation or stimulus. Every personality theory in one way or another must deal with the issue of individual differences. Allport's emphasis on the uniqueness of person, however, only one of the features of his position. In addition, there is a strong focus on ways in which internal cognitive and motivational forces influences and causes behavior. Allport's theory represents a blend of humanistic. It is a humanistic theory including the potential for growth and self-actualization. Its objective is to understand and predict the development of the real person. Further, Allport may broadly be described as an eclectic because he incorporates insights from philosophy, religion, literature, and sociology. In fact, Allport's belief that each person's behavior derives from a particular configuration of personal traits. Dear students, we are trying to conceptualize two things for you. Number one, Gordon Allport's theory can be labeled as a humanistic theory because he is focusing on personal growth. He is focusing on all the positive tendencies that are inherent in a person. Number two, he can be labeled as an eclectic. Eclectic, or let's say his approach is integrative in nature because it is taking in, it's imbibing or taking help from philosophy, literature, sociology, social work, and is trying to take help, and with that he can be labeled as an eclectic and humanistic personality theorist. जनाब, एक तरफ गॉर्डन ऑलपोर्ट फोकस कर रहा है यूनिकनेस पे, दूसरी तरफ इंडिविजुअल डिफरेंसेस पे, thirdly is focusing on humanistic positive tendencies within you. Then he is being eclectic as well. He is trying to integrate concepts from different sciences and trying to understand human personality. Or let's say he is trying to understand the concept of trait. Dear students, let us go through a brief biographical sketch of Gordon Allport और देखेंगे ये, उसमें फोकस ये करेंगे वो कौन से इवेंट्स थे which led him to develop a trait theory of personality. Biographical sketch. Allport was born in 1897 in Indiana. His father was a physician and mother was a school teacher. His elder brother Floyd was a famous psychologist. He went to Harvard, but his early grades were C's and D's, but he finished with straight A's. Allport was a social isolate who was skilled with words but very poor at sports. One of his classmates once said, "That guy swallowed a dictionary." जनाब, बात आपसे हो रही है गॉर्डन ऑलपोर्ट के बायोग्राफिकल स्केच की, और हमने ये कहा कि he was born in 1897 in Indiana. His father was a physician, a doctor, and mother was a school teacher. His elder brother Floyd was a successful psychologist. He went to Harvard, which was a very prestigious university. Now, initially when he began studies at Harvard, he was getting all C and D grades, but he worked hard and finished with straight A's. और हम ये देखते हैं कि as a young adolescent, he was an social isolate. He was not very good in socializing, and he was very good with words, vocabulary or writing part, but he was very poor in sports. और उसके एक क्लास फेलो ने उसके बारे में ये कहा कि ऐसे लगता है जैसे उसने एक डिक्शनरी जो है वो खा ली है, हजम कर लिए, the amount of words that he was using, or let's say he must be having a fabulous vocabulary to work with. Alport insisted that he was a good routine student, but definitely uninspired about anything beyond the usual adolescent concerns. Alport pursued undergraduate study at Harvard University at the urge of his brother Floyd, who was then a graduate student in psychology at the same university. Alport went to Vienna to meet his brother, and he called on Sigmund Freud. On the day of their meeting, Freud called Alport into his office and sat down, saying nothing, and waited for Alport to speak. The silence grew longer, and Alport became very uncomfortable under the intense, steady gaze of the world's famous psychoanalyst. Alport received his PhD in psychology in 1922 at the age of 24. His research focused on an examination of the traits of personality, and it was the first such study done anywhere in United States. During the next 2 years, supported by a Sheldon Traveling Fellowship, Alport studied at the universities of Berlin and Hamburg in Germany and Cambridge in England. Returning from Europe, he served as an instructor for 2 years in Harvard's Department of Social Ethics. जनाब, बात आपसे हो रही है गॉर्डन ऑलपॉट की बायोग्राफिकल स्केच की, और हमने ये कहा कि ऑलपॉट का अपने बारे में ये ख्याल था कि ही वॉज वेरी गुड स्टूडेंट. Even though initially he got C and D grades, but he labeled himself as a very good student on the basis that he ended his school with straight A's. Now, Alport went to Vienna to meet his brother who was living there, and it was here that he called on Sigmund Freud, and Sigmund Freud invited him to his office. Gordon Alport went there, sat there, and Freud had a very long scanning gaze which somehow made Gordon Alport very uncomfortable. Now, how the meeting ended and what the two discussed, because Alport initially began and worked as a psychoanalyst. It was later that he developed his theory. Now, after doing his PhD, just at the age of 24, he went to 2 big universities in Germany, and then he went to Cambridge, and from Cambridge he came back to the same Harvard University and worked there as an instructor. जनाब, उसने इस दौरान में he had an opportunity. He was at Harvard, then he was at Germany. He studied at 2 big universities, at Berlin and at Hamburg, फिर उसके बाद Cambridge, and again coming back. See the varied experience and traveling and meeting people that he is doing. So that must have had an impact on him as well. Now coming back to Harvard, and it was here that he stayed and worked. Now he wrote a number of books. Number 1, Personality is Psychological Interpretation in 1937. Number 2, The Psychology of Rumor in 1947 with Postman. Number 3, The Individual and His Religion in 1950. And number 4, The Nature of Prejudice in 1954. जनाब, बात आपसे हो रही है गॉर्डन ऑलपॉट की किताबों की, और अगर आप इस किताबों की फहरिस्त देखें वो तो शायद इतनी तवील नहीं, लेकिन what he did, he kept on modifying his trait theory of personality. और हम ये देखते हैंगे कि 1937 से 1966 तक, at the time when he dies, his trait theory of personality went through a lot of modifications and changes. और उसकी वजह ये थी कि new experiences and new things were teaching him that what more constructs should be included in a comprehensive theory of personality. Now, let us begin with the main concepts and constructs of his theory. So, what is personality? ये सवाल जो है हम हर personality theorist के जहन में आता है, और जब ये आता है personality and what is personality and studying personality, it is then that an individual begins to work on it. Personality as a something. In his first book, Personality as Psychological Interpretation, Allport devoted an entire chapter to the review of many different notions of personalities offered by philosophers, poets, sociologists, psychologists, and concluded that an adequate synthesis of existing definitions must be expressed in the phrase, what man really is. So, Janab, Gordon Allport की किताब A Psychological Interpretation, which was published in 1937, and in this book the first chapter is devoted to the definitions of personality given by famous philosophers, poets, sociologists, psychologists. So, Allport was focusing on what man really is. What is personality? Allport asserted that personality is something and does something. It is what lies behind specific acts and within the individual. The personality as merely a hypothetical entity is existing, something within the person. At least in Allport's system, personality is alive, well and functioning. जनाब पहली दफा Gordon Allport came up with the definition that personality is something and does something. तो जब ये बात हुई personality is something and does something, so he is referring that personality is alive, well and functioning. So we are talking about a personality theory where the focus is on personality as an hypothetical entity, and this hypothetical entity is responsible for doing something. In 1937, Allport reviewed the history of the word personality, beginning with the Greek word persona, mask, and studied some 50 definitions of the word personality before he gave his own definition. Personality is the dynamic organization within the individual of psychophysical systems that determine his unique adjustments to his environment. In 1961, Allport changed the phrase of definition from unique adjustments to his environment to characteristic behavior and thought. Dear students, we are talking to you about Gordon Allport's definition of the term personality. तो जनाब हुआ कुछ यूं कि 1937 में in 1937 Allport focused on the word persona. Persona is a Greek word which means a mask, and he collected some 50 definitions of personality given to us by different psychologists, and it was then that he gave a comprehensive definition of personality, जिसमें for Gordon Allport personality is a dynamic organization. Number 2, the focus is on psychophysical systems. Number 3, unique adjustments to environment. तो बात आपसे हो रही है गॉर्डन ऑलपॉट की थ्योरी की, और हमने कहा कि ये डेफिनेशन जो 1937 में मिली, इसमें 1961 में 1961 में तब्दीली आई, जहां पे वो कहते हैं यूनिक एडजस्टमेंट्स टू एनवायरनमेंट दैट वाज चेंज टू कैरेक्टरिस्टिक बिहेवियर एंड थॉट. इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि instead of defining personality as a dynamic system which makes adjustment to the environment, personality consists of unique ways, characteristic behavior and thought patterns of individual. Now let us examine the key concepts that are there in this definition. Number 1, the dynamic organization. Humans are always changing and becoming. Number 2, psychophysical systems. It entails body and mind fused together. Number 3, determine. Personality is something and does something. Number 4, characteristic behavior and thought. To learn about an individual is to study him. In arriving at his conceptual definition, Allport noted that the terms character and temperament have often been used for personality, This seems particularly true when considering the layman's use of these terms. Alport explains each may be readily distinguished from the concept of personality. Dear students, we are talking to you about Gordon Allport's comprehensive definition of personality. और हमने आपसे ये कहा कि ये definition of personality जो 1937 में दी, it was changed in 1961. और इस डेफिनेशन के जो इम्पोर्टेंट 4 कंपोनेंट्स हैं वो हमने आपसे अभी डिस्कस किए. एंड देन वी फोकस्ड ऑन 2 इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग्स. हमने आपसे ये कहा कि ऑलपोर्ट इज टॉकिंग अबाउट कैरेक्टर एंड टेम्परामेंट. जनाब, पर्सनैलिटी एक टर्म है, कैरेक्टर एक और टर्म है, टेम्परामेंट एक और टर्म है, टाइप ऑफ पर्सन एक और टर्म है. So, if we want to be clear, what do we mean by personality, character, type और temperament? Let us go through them. क्योंकि एक वो शख्स जिसने नफ्सियात नहीं पढ़ी उसके लिए तो चाहे जब हम personality कहें, character कहें, temperament कहें, type कहें, उसके लिए ये सब एक जैसी इस्तिलाहात और terms हैं. लेकिन for a student of psychology, they are different. And Gordon Allport is trying to differentiate between what is character, what is temperament, what is type. The word character refers to moral standard or value systems against which individuals' actions are evaluated. For example, whenever another person is considered of good character, a personal judgment as to the social or ethical desirability of his or her personal characteristics is really the topic. Character thus is actually an ethical concept or character is personality evaluation. बात आपसे हो रही है जनाब वर्ड कैरेक्टर की और हमने ये कहा कि the word character refers to an evaluation, a moral standard. जब आप कहते हैं such and such individual has a good character, तो you are actually doing a moral evaluation. You are using a value system to evaluate the character or personality of an individual. So the word character refers to personality evaluation. It refers to a moral standard that is used in judging an individual. दूसरा important word temperament. जनाब, temperament refers to mood और emotional component of your personality. तो character तो हुआ personality evaluation, temperament हुआ emotional component of the personality, type हुए वो class या वो category which is used in placing somebody. आप कहते हैं such and such is a very aggressive person. तो आपने एक क्लास, आपने एक कैटेगरी बना दी और उस क्लास और कैटेगरी में आपने उस इंडिविजुअल को जिसको आपने अग्रेसिव ट्रेड पे लेबल किया है उसमें डाल दिया. जनाब, आपसे बात हम करेंगे कैरेक्टर की, टेम्परामेंट की, मूड की. लेट्स टेक एन एग्जांपल. कैरेक्टर. ऑल माय स्टूडेंट्स आर ऑनेस्ट एंड दे आर ट्रस्टवर्दी इन कैरेक्टर. टेम्परामेंट. My students have pleasant and polite moods. Type. They are hardworking and dedicated type. So, dear students, we are talking to you about an example where we are trying to differentiate between character, temperament or mood. I hope you are very much clear about it with this very simple and straight example जहाँ पे मैंने कहा कि ऑल माई स्टूडेंट्स आर ऑनेस्ट. तो मैंने उनकी पर्सनैलिटी एवेल्युएशन कर ली, उनका कैरेक्टर एवेल्युएशन, उनकी मोरालिटी एवेल्युएशन कर ली यूजिंग द कंस्ट्रक्ट द ट्रेड ऑफ ऑनेस्टी. नंबर 2, मैंने कहा दे हैव वेरी प्लेजेंट पोलाइट टेम्परामेंट्स. तो उनके मूड्स जो हैं, टेंडेंसीज टुवर्ड्स वर्क, वो बड़े प्लेजेंट और पोलाइट हैं. फिर मैंने कहा कि आई कैन classify them, put them in a category that they are hard working and dedicated. और मैंने उनकी टाइप भी आपको बता दी. Now with this simple example, I'm certain it will be clear to you to differentiate between character, temperament and type. Let's talk about what is personality theory और एक अच्छी पर्सनैलिटी थेरी जो है अकॉर्डिंग टू गॉर्डन ऑलपॉट, what characteristics it should possess, what criteria should be used in judging a good personality theory. So let us go through that. What a personality theory should be. Specifically, Allport in 1960 insisted, number one, a truly adequate theory of personality must regard the human personality as contained in the organism. Theorists have placed personality outside the person by equating it with social roles or interpersonal relationships. The role theory explains personality as nothing more than one's membership in a group and the situation-defined roles one is expected to adopt. According to this approach, any given person, say A, for example, is known only by the roles he enacts. So A is only a college student, a son, consumer, church attendant, and so on. Dear students, we are talking to you about the criteria used by Gordon Allport in judging a good theory of personality. तो हमने आपसे ये कहा कि एक अच्छी पर्सनैलिटी थ्योरी वो है जो ह्यूमन पर्सनैलिटी को पूरी तरह बताए, पूरी तरह एक्सप्लेन करे. Unfortunately, personality has been described by various personality theorists as the roles an individual plays in his life. The role of a student, the role of a son, the role of a consumer, the role of an individual who goes to church, who goes to mosque, who is very particular about his prayers. So a good, adequate theory of personality must regard human personality as contained within the organism. सिर्फ और सिर्फ उसकी external attributes और characteristics पे focus ना करें, बल्कि the real individual within the organism should be focused. Number 2, a complete theory of personality regards the organism as well-stocked, not empty. Representing the antithesis of Skinner's position, Allport argued that we must assume a well-stocked organism, not an empty one, if we are to advance in personality theorizing. Whereas Skinner believes environmental events shape the empty organism, Allport believes personality is something that is located within the organism. Dear students, we are talking to you about criteria used by Gordon Allport. Uska second criteria of a good personality theory is where we should assume that an individual or the organism is well stocked and not an empty one. For Skinner or for behaviorists, a personality is like an empty slate. It's like a blank sheet, and it is environment and experiences in the environment that shapes the personality. For Gordon Allport, personality is something that is very much within the organism. So personality for behaviorists is something else, and a good personality theory is one which considers the organism as a well-stocked one and not an empty one. Number 3, an adequate theory must regard motivation as normal effect of present structure and function and not simply as an outgrowth of earlier forces or experiences. Motivationally speaking, A is not a prisoner of his past. He does not forever drag the chains of his early childhood experiences to rattle through his early adult action. Instead, Allport believed that an adequate personality theory should portray A as he is now, as a 20-year-old college student, and interpret his motivation. So a good personality theory is which focuses entirely on organism's motivational level and his current status or situation. Number 4, the units of measures employed by an adequate personality theory must be capable of living synthesis. This requirement stipulates that the personality must somehow be broken down into definable units, segments, aspects, factors for the study. but that the units themselves must be of such a nature as to permit their construction and capturing that holistic quality of dynamic organism which is at the heart of Gordon Allpott's definition of personality. For example, to account for the personality of Humpty Dumpty, it would indeed be necessary for a theory first to break him into pieces and then to assemble him. Number 5, theory of personality must allow adequately for but not rely exclusively on the phenomena of self-consciousness. To portray accurately, an adequate personality theory must recognize that he is consciously aware of himself. In fact, this self-consciousness is the most concrete evidence A has of his personal identity. Dear students, we have talked to you about the 5 characteristics which a good personality theory must possess in order to fully capture the personality of an individual. जनाब, अगर आप इस पर्सनैलिटी थ्योरी के क्राइटेरियाज को, 5 क्राइटेरियाज को सामने रखें, तो गॉर्डन ऑलपॉट्स थ्योरी इज वन विच फुली कम्स अक्रॉस टू द स्टैंडर्ड that he has set for a good personality theory. ये 5 क्राइटेरिया जो भी पर्सनैलिटी थ्योरी मीट कर रही है, for Gordon Allpott is a good theory of personality, and of course his theory of personality is meeting those criteria. Dear students, let us talk about what is a trait. A trait is a predisposition to respond in an equivalent manner to various kinds of stimuli. Traits are psychological entities that render many stimuli as well as many responses. Many stimuli may evoke the same response or many responses, perceptions, interpretations, feelings, actions, and have the same functional meaning in terms of trait. To illustrate this concept, the case of fictitious Mr. M, whose leading trait is a fear of communism. For him, this trait renders equivalent the social stimuli of Russians, black, Jewish neighbors, liberals, and most college professors, peace organizations, the United Nations, and so forth. All are perceived and labeled as communists. Dear students, we are talking to you about the concept of trait. So we said trait is a predisposition to respond in a specific way to various kinds of stimuli. हमने आपसे कहा ट्रेड एक predisposition है to respond to various stimuli in the same manner, in the same way. और उसमें हमने एग्जाम्पल लिया कि there is an fictitious, there is a make believe character M who is very much phobic about communism. उसको हर इंडिविजुअल, जितने रशियंस हैं, जितने ब्लैक्स हैं, जितने लोग इस दुनिया में रहते हैं, उसके जूइश नेबर्स जितने हैं, जितने कॉलेज प्रोफेसर्स हैं, जितनी पीस ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस इस दुनिया में हैं, यूनाइटेड नेशंस जो एग्जिस्ट कर रही है, वो सबको जो परसीव कर रहा है विद द फियर दैट ऑल ऑफ देम आर कम्युनिस्ट एंड सोशलिस्ट. सो वी से trait is a predisposition to respond in a specific way to all the stimuli that you come across. According to Allpott, traits are not linked to small number of specific stimuli or responses. Rather, they are generalized and enduring. By uniting responses to numerous stimuli, traits produce fairly broad consistencies in behavior. It should be emphasized that traits do not lie dormant waiting to be aroused by external stimuli. In fact, the individual may actively seek stimulus situations that encourage the expressions of her traits. A person with a strong disposition towards sociability not only responds in a charming manner when in a group of people, but also seeks out company when she is alone. Dear students, we are talking to you about traits. हमने कहा traits are your very unique ways, predispositions of responding to unique different ways that you respond to stimuli. Now these are your permanent enduring patterns of personality. Traits are not dormant or dead, or they are not sleeping in your personality and it is only stimuli which evoke them or let's say give them an opportunity to be expressed. No, traits are the ones which are being expressed when an individual who has a charming personality is very friendly within a group of individuals, or when even in isolation, this charming trait is expressed. So, dear students, we are talking to you about traits. The traits of traits. In Allport's system, traits themselves may be said to have traits or defining characteristics. Shortly before his death, Allport published an article entitled Traits Revisited, in which he summarized that he had learned in response to a question, what is a trait of personality? In this article, he proposed 8 basic criteria that define a personality trait. Dear students, just before his death, it was Allport who in his article Traits Revisited gave us some 8 characteristics of traits. और ये 8 की 8 characteristics जो हैं, they are equally important. Number 1, a trait has more than nominal existence. Personality traits are not fictions, they are very real, vital part of one's existence. Every person possesses inside his or her skin these generalized action tendencies. Number 2, a trait is more generalized than a habit. Traits tend to cut across situations and thereby account for the more permanent, enduring general features of our behaviors. Habits, while enduring, refer to more narrow and limited types of tendencies and are less generalized in terms of situations which may evoke them or the responses which they evoke. जनाब, बात आपसे हो रही है कि 8 characteristics of trait, और उसमें हमने कहा कि a trait is, number 1, a trait has more than nominal existence. So traits basically, they are not fictions, they are something real, and they are very vital and important for an individual's existence. Number 2, traits are more than habits. Habits are more narrow in their construct or concept, and mind you, traits are more extensive. Number 3, a trait is dynamic or at least determinative in behavior. Traits underlie behavior, they cause behavior. And in Allport's, traits do not lie dormant, waiting to be aroused by external stimuli. Number 4, a trait's existence may be established empirically. If they are real, psychologists ought to be able to prove that they are. While traits as such can never be directly observed, how can you see sociability? Allport believed that they could be verified scientifically. जनाब, तीसरी अहम चीज, a trait is something dynamic. It causes behavior. It leads you, it pushes you towards something. It's not something static. It's not something dead. It is something dynamic. Number 4, traits can be empirically established as well. तो अगर कोई चीज है तो वो empirically through experiments or scientifically can be verified as well. Number 5, a trait is only relatively independent of other traits. To paraphrase a well-known saying, no trait is an island. Traits overlap. There is no rigid boundary separating one trait from another. Rather, the personality is comprised of a network of overlapping traits, only relatively independent of one another. To illustrate, Allport 1960 cites a study in which it was found that traits of insight and humor are highly correlated with one another. Clearly, these are separate traits, but they nonetheless are somehow related. Number 5, traits are relatively independent and they are not dependent on one another. However, कुछ traits के दरमियान correlation या आपस में कोई बाहमी ताल्लुक ज़रूर होता है. जैसे एक इंडिविजुअल जो है वो अगर बहुत ज़हीन है तो उसके अंदर सेंस ऑफ ह्यूमर भी बहुत होगा. सो इनसाइट एंड ह्यूमर somehow are two traits, though they are independent of one another, but there is a correlationship between them. Dear students, we are talking to you about Gordon Allport's trait theory of personality. जनाब, आज आपसे हमने एक बहुत नई, बहुत फैबुलस और ज़बरदस्त थ्योरी शुरू की जिसको हम trait theory of personality कहते हैं. And in this trait theory of personality, which was given to us by Gordon Allport, we went through a biographical sketch of Allport. We went through basically what criteria Allport is using in coming across a good theory of personality. और गॉर्डन ऑलपॉट ने हमें 5 characteristics दी. If a personality theory fulfills these 5 characteristics, it's a good theory of personality. और उसकी अपनी theory of personality क्योंकि ये 5 criteria meet करती है, so it is a good theory, a sound theory of personality. जनाब उसके बाद आपसे हम बात कर रहे हैं अभी, which is still in the middle, it has yet to come to an end, that is characteristics of traits. और हमने अभी तक आपसे उसमें 5 characteristics dear student पूरी की. Rest of the 3 have to be covered and we will cover them in our next lecture. And mind you, we have gone through the core concepts with you. Most of the core concepts have yet to be covered. There are a lot of examples and research which Gordon Allport himself personally conducted with reference to trait, cardinal trait, central traits, secondary traits, common traits, individual traits, functional autonomy, study of values. बहुत सारी चीज़ों की आपसे बात करें, but that will be in our next lecture. Do take care of yourself. Please go through the PowerPoint slides and the Word document that is available on the page of Personality Psychology. Keep in touch and hope to see you in our next lecture. Up till then, it's Khuda Hafiz.